So this was a post that Jay God put out with a chart that shows the overall Caldera versus Rebirth KDs. Now, KD does not mean everything, okay? You can be an average player who just makes a whole bunch of stupid decisions overall, but maybe you're really above average when you really need to be. You might have the game sense, the movement, the whatever when you really need to, where you do start making good decisions overall and you play for a good win versus just an average day. There's also positioning that matters a lot more. It doesn't represent your wins. You can win a whole bunch of games having a very low kills. That was the game we just literally spectated and interviewed a worldwide legend here. So this was interesting. You can see that the most common KDs are from 0.6 to the 0.9 range. So if I pull this graph up, I'll try and pull it up a little bigger for you guys here. 0.8, 0.9. You can see it actually skews a little bit lower on Caldera percentages. The KD is a little bit higher for the peak. And, you know, the end over here for Rebirth. But the highest of high players play play Caldera. Used to saying Verdansk from the last map. So the 4+ KDers, it's a slightly higher KD or total amount that play Caldera, which probably makes sense because in Rebirth you'll respawn, you'll play way more games. I don't know. Maybe there's something to that. Maybe this is also skewed from outliers of guys like OP Mark who are like 4,500 wins, literally just play the most pure
Bold
W
prediction.
strategy.
Vlatoifi actually finishes the race this week. Nerd face.
And at the other end of it, look at how low the KD is for some of the Caldera players at 0 or 0.1s. Now, there was something else that was replied to even on this, and I thought was really interesting. Dude, this chart's so cool to see is what I had tweeted back to it. This was a couple days ago. I forgot to bring this up on the stream. But basically, is like, how many of these players are still active, I guess, is to a degree. Like, are all these people still playing? I don't know. I feel like over time, people do get better. Obviously, there is a layer of skill-based matchmaking that comes with this as well. But usually, it is just the pure lowest of low people that are protected so that they can get a little bit better and then, you know, break out of that, especially if they're brand new level 0 players. I even went on my alternate account, which I was doing some community games on last week or the week before, and I had a 1.3 KD on that one. I had only ever played like 1 or 2 games. I had like 10 kills. I played a couple more, ended up getting to like a 1.4, 1.5 KD off of a couple games. And all the lobbies felt, even on a level 1 account, no prestiges, still felt like my regular lobbies for the most part
Also
that I was getting.
by the planes. They were up for a bit and Sparty was getting 40 kill games
Very
constantly
true.
when attempting world records.
Extremely true. That can 100% be a big skew to Caldera having higher KD. The planes giving people high KDs. That is big facts. Big facts. Those things were just free kills. That was one of the stupidest things they ever implemented in the game, which is obviously a lot of fun to play sometimes, but yeah, it was good science, exactly. What else do you guys notice about the chart here? I have a 1 KD. Where are your guys' KDs, I guess? This chart confirms that I already know I'm a bot. 0.5 KD. If you're 0.5 KD, yeah, you're below average. So the average is about 0.7, 0.8, maybe a little lower, 0.6, 0.7 for Caldera. Here, let me go to some of these. We can see what people are saying off of it. Started at a 0.6, now up to a 1, 0.99, 0.85, 0.9s, 1.2. Yeah, so then this is the other part of it that I wanted to bring up, is that if you look at like, okay, how come people with a 2.5 KD or higher, how come they're just not in their own games, or 3 KDs or 4 KDs? People with 4 KDs, how come they're in with the general population here? But look at the player count distribution. There's just not enough people that have that high of KDs in order to put them with people. So this is what I'm always talking about. And I don't know, this is my first time seeing numbers like this, but this is something I always talk about when I'm playing solos or even the other game modes too. But it's like, I always notice that there is a whole bunch of people that are average, probably in this realm. Maybe this isn't the exact indicator, okay, of like their actual skill level, right? I just died in the last game to a dude that was trash, okay? It happens. But there's usually 5 to 15 or so players that are really good, probably in this upper echelon, that get thrown into the pool over here. And I think especially, I play during the mornings, and there's probably a lot less of the people who are, the sweaty kids that are coming back from school or whatever. Like, I don't even know who's playing in these days. A lot of times they're even they don't even speak English. Maybe they're on the East Coast, maybe they're down in South America. I don't know where these people are even connecting from sometimes. Overall, what is my point of this? Because this is even just stuff pulled from Warzone ranked, right? It would be really cool if Call of Duty did showcase some of the actual data that they are making decisions off of for some of these things. I feel like the lack of communication with some of the reasons that they do some of these things too just makes people speculate and guess why they're doing some things. For example, there's a skill-based hit reg. I don't know if you heard that one going around. That was a big one for a while. But people don't even know what's going on a lot of times, so they'll just make some stuff up.
0.79k/D, and I still suck. Does that mean average equals bot?
I mean, okay, you got to keep in mind, for the sake of content creation and what people talk about, a lot of content creators and streamers are typically pretty high KD players. Not everybody, right? There's exceptions. I mean, I play with Tomographic a lot. But a lot of people are pretty high KD players. So I'm even up like 2.4, 2.6 area up at the top here. Now, you got to, like, this is everybody below me. Like, this is a lot of people that I can consider a bot. There's not as many that are going to be really good that I could basically be like, damn, these guys are cracked. But I still run into a lot of really, really, really cracked players as well. So, your perspective of where you say somebody's a bot is if they're going to be worse than you, right? Like, that's just, it's basically calling somebody a noob these days, which still people call people noobs, but, you're new to the game, you're learning the game, and anybody who is learning the game or doesn't have as much experience as you, then, you could call them a bot, right? And a lot of the people that you maybe watch content on or whatever are going to make clips, like, they are going to be skewed to the higher end of the population over here. And so that's where you're going to get a lot more people saying that. But the real bots are all the way down at the very bottom. And they're typically protected in their own little skill-based matchmaking lobbies of the, super bots. So anyways, I thought this was really cool. Let me know what you guys think about it as well. And that's what, I would love to see more actual data and stats on this. Rather than us just trying to pull secondhand information. I mean, like, even what we saw, for example, if you looked at your actual, and some people still do this, but you could look at your actual KD of the lobbies that you're in, the average KD, who the other players are. They used to rank the lobbies as well as silver, diamond, bronze, whatever, on this other website, which Call of Duty shut down the API for. But people just we don't have the awareness of a game, which is clearly they're trying to keep this casual, right? They're trying to keep this game very casual overall, and not have those types of things in it to give people that ability to differentiate and to have these things. That's the decision that they made. That's okay. But I would like to see some of this data and to have that information for me to know that I'm going into a lobby that has the distribution that it has, to just clear up some of this, all of this confusion that happens.
They are making a Series 10/S